What is going on, guys? Welcome back to The Art of Violence. The wind is picking up here. Hopefully this doesn't affect too much. I'm trying to keep my mic here a little. Or maybe I'll just, you know what? I'm sitting. I don't have to walk with it. I'll just kind of do this. Try to cover it with my hand or something. So we got Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul coming up. Jake is gonna do what he does, and I've explained the little trick that he does, but I'll say it again. What he does is he picks a guy who has previous accolades in MMA, but is not a boxer and is also like on a losing streak, but was a champion, but realistically is like no longer a top 15 fighter. He'll pick this guy, and he'll maybe he'll fix a fight. I think some of his fights might have been, maybe he won't. Sorry, I'm going to try to protect the mic as much as I can. But he'll pick a guy who has previous accolades that is typically at the end of his career, typically on a downfall, whose skill level has just been outdated by other younger competition coming up, and he'll challenge that guy. And also, that guy's not a boxer, but he has like the accolade of it being a champion, like Tyron Woodley or Ben Askren. And Ben Askren was not a UFC champion, but he held a belt in Bellator and 1FC at one point. And so he'll beat them because they're not boxers, and maybe he fixes it. But either way, I think he could, especially now, I think he could beat a lot of them, just like these guys who, like Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren. I don't think he would even need to fix it at this point because his skill level is just greater than theirs, especially now. But that doesn't mean he hasn't in the past. So, he'll fight them, he'll beat them, and then he'll be like, oh, I beat a UFC champion, when he knows damn well he didn't fight a current UFC champion. So that's the little trick he's figured out that he does, or he'll fight like a UFC legend like Nate Diaz, who, is not like Nate Diaz is probably not even top 15. And he'll beat him in a boxing match, even though it doesn't really mean anything. But because Nate Diaz is like a legend, he can sell it. So it's like a really tricky, deceptive, super creative little narrative he's figured out. And I give him credit for it. Like, that takes a tremendous amount of intelligence. It's devious as hell, kind of diabolical, but he's figured out a way to propel his career doing that. And it's worked. So this is basically what he's going to do with Mike Tyson. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I personally think Jake is going to win. I suppose he could get knocked out by Tyson. I just don't. If he fights smart, I just don't see it. I think he'll, I put it this way. If he doesn't like put Mike Tyson away in a round or two, that looks terrible for him. He's fighting a 60-year-old man. And he has every intention of knocking this 60-year-old man out and gloating and standing over his unconscious body celebrating if he does. He has every intention of doing that. Absolutely every intention. So, if he can't put him away in a couple rounds, that just makes him look absolutely terrible. And that's what he's going to do with Mike Tyson. He's going to act like he beat Mike Tyson in his prime. And that he beat the greatest boxer of all time, even though Mike Tyson's in no way, shape, or form the greatest boxer of all time. So yeah, there's been a couple of sparring footages released. A lot of Mike Tyson's game is based on athleticism. It's based on countering and moving really fast side to side and coming back with strong hooks. At his age, I don't think he's going to be able to do that the same way. If Jake is smart and plays a good defensive game, I think he can beat that and probably land the shots he needs to on Tyson. But it does look like Tyson still has some power. If Jake is lackadaisical in his defense, doesn't have his hands up, doesn't clinch at the right times, lets Tyson get him in a corner, it's possible, man. It is possible, I will say, but I think it's probably pretty unlikely. And again, it's just disgusting, this little trick he does. Again, he has every intention of acting like he beat the GOAT if he beats Mike Tyson, especially if he knocks him out. And it's unfortunate because there's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to fall for it. So if Jake wins, honestly, it means nothing. If he loses, even if it's competitive, I'm going to be honest, even if it's competitive, it makes him look dumb. It makes him look dumb and unskilled. Like, he should be able to smoke Tyson in I'd say one or two. And if he can't, honestly, that makes him look terrible. So, you know, I do respect Jake Paul in some ways, and he has shown himself to be a little more of a respectable character than his brother, although they both have done several scams and they both have very questionable characters. Um, I do not like this. I think it's very disrespectful and deceitful. But Mike Tyson agreed to do it. Probably never had that big payday that he's getting from Jake. I think it's very smart that they put it on Netflix so everyone can see it. I don't really know the deal or how they're getting paid from that, but I would imagine it's a large sum. So either way, doesn't mean anything. Jake Paul is just up to his shenanigans and up to his tricks as usual. And I don't really know if we'll ever see him fight like an actual high level guy right now in their prime. And there's so many of them that would just snap it in a heartbeat. They would gladly take the fight. Caleb Plant, the Charlo Bros. I don't name anyone, honestly. Any of these guys would love a shot at him. Any of them. So they could make it happen too. It's not like the UFC where like they're tied into a contract, they can't fight anyone else. They actually could make it happen. He could make it happen, but again, he's not calling any of those guys out. He doesn't want to do that because he knows what would happen. Probably get smoked. So he did look like he improved a little bit in his last fight, but I wouldn't say he's like anywhere near high level. I would say he's just decent at this point. Or definitely has some skills, or maybe like a low level. He maybe be like a high level amateur, or I would still say like a lower to maybe somewhere between like a lower to mid level pro, somewhere in between there. We'll have to see how he looks, but yeah, it's deceptive and a bit nasty what he's doing, but he's figured out a way and it works. So you got to give him credit. He's kind of pioneered this space, and I give him respect for that. So. Is what it is. I hope Tyson flatlines him. I hope he gets him in a corner and just batters him. But if Jake survives, good chance Tyson's going to gas himself out. I don't think he has the best footwork when it comes to defense. I think his defense is very suspect and probably not, especially at this age, not very developed, or he's not very conscientious of his defense and how he's moving and not getting hit. And he probably wants to take Jake Paul's head off. So. We haven't seen like a full video of him spar, so we just don't know. We've seen more footage of Jake. But, yeah, if Jake plays it right, he's defensively intelligent. He uses his jab. He maybe drags Mike Tyson out a little bit more, gets him tired. I think a good chance he can put him away. I really think he should be able to put him away in like 1 or 2 rounds, but, I wouldn't be surprised if he dragged it out just to play it safe. But either way, this means nothing for Jake Paul's skill level. It's just another little trick he's pulling on us to make money, and it works. Tyson's agreed, so it is what it is. It's on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win? How are they going to win? Will we ever see Jake Paul fight a real boxer? What do you guys think of this whole thing? How do you feel about Jake fighting an old man and bragging about it as if he's doing something great? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll respond to every single one. So my name's Angelo. This is The Art of Violence. Till next time.